Hi, welcome folks. Welcome to this special show of Your World with Prakash Kapila. From the previous shows, this show is a little bit different because in if you watch our previous shows, I was mostly talking about the stock markets and the affairs of the world that would shape the week and that have shaped the week before and week ahead. Right now we are taking a different route. We are talking about things that have shaped the history of the world, and in particular, history of India. So India was a third world country and still is considered a third world country. But along with China and India, the whole world economy shifted after 1990, right? Around 80s, Deng Xiaoping uh, was the leader of China, 70s and 80s. And then in 90s, there was for only 5 years, there was a big leader who changed the course of India from a closed system into an open system. And he was instrumental in maintaining the peace and thereby creating the prosperity for India. So when he was in the uh, prime ministership, there was a huge problems, and how he solved each one of them is what I'll be talking over a period of series. So PV Narasimha Rao became PM. There was a big issue called Mandal Commission, which gave reservations to other backward classes and apart from SC/STs. So even though it was promulgated by 2 years before PV became PM, like 89, 88, 89, it was mostly not implemented or the PM was not able to implement. At that time, the PM was not able to implement, and he had to demit the office because of this one. So our discussion point of discussion is how could PV Narasimha Rao implement Mandal Commission without creating any ruckus or without creating any strikes, bunds, or demitting office or doing any sort of tricks, but being able to drive the point and convince people of India, because the students are students, right? No force can control them. 2 years ago, around 88, what happened is the prime minister brought Mandal Commission, and the whole student community across the length and breadth of India erupted at once, right? It was very, very spontaneous, and the strikes or the hartals or the bunds were like across the length and breadth within days, right? JNU started it in Delhi. As soon as it was started, in just 5 days, it spread across. In 5 days, it spread across India. All students boycotted the colleges, schools. The buses were stopped, and many things happened. So here with us is Ravindra, who is also a student at that time, and he also went through this process of uh, having the Mandal Commission, what it is, and it was all sudden, right? This Mandal Commission thing we didn't even know existed, and just it started. So before we proceed into the show, I want Ravindra, please introduce yourself, your background, where you come from. Please go ahead.
Hi, this is Ravindra here. Thank you very much, Prakash, for having me in the show. Actually, let me tell my background. My parents belong to the backward caste community, and I was actually a very good student in my school. At the time, I was in my plus one or so. And then all these kind of Mandal Commission discussions were flaring up the whole floor. So me with I used to have only the forward cast as friends. So I used to have like two worlds with my friends and all. They used to ask me because they want my opinion because I belong to backward caste that time. So are you supporting Mandal Commission or not? Yes or no? And they are all very very strictly saying they are against it. Okay. for me, I used to have fights with my father about Mandal Commission. Means all I was telling is how the Mandal Commission went
Fights means
around my
debates.
world.
Fights
Yeah,
means
around.
debates.
Sorry. Yeah,
Fights means debates.
yeah, yeah, correct.
Arguments.
Arguments or debates. My father be very supportive of that. Till the time he was supporting BJP, and once he was doing Mandal Commission, my father was saying, "Looks like VP Singh is also a sensible guy like that." I used to say, "Why you are saying all that?" So because he has his own world, and he used to feel Mandal Commission needs to be passed, and I used to feel if we study well, who are stopping you from developing? So you need to be. Anybody can study is what my opinion. So that time, that is how it was. Then after I joined my college, where I can say I have not used my reservation because I did not have to. Main reason. Second thing is maybe the other guy who took my slot in other computer science branch or something. So I could not use that reservation slot in a way. Let me honest on that. Because of that, I'm forced to take an open category seat in mechanical in REC Warangal. Okay. So once I joined, all of my friends were upset saying that Ravi, you should take only reserved seat. You should not be taking the open seat. So that's how you guys are robbing off all the good guys, right? In your community are robbing off. Now you debate me whether reservations are needed or not. So that is how the whole discussion. Okay. Then followed by because REC Warangal means you or NIT right now you call them.
Right.
So you meet the people from all states. So I have my UP friends and Bihar and all that, right? So one day in our discussion, he was telling about the truth about Mandal Commission, because all this Mandal Commission, even though it flared up in the North India, it came to South. But the whole history of Mandal Commission is pretty well known in the North side only, not in the South. So what he was saying is VP Singh want to consolidate his vote bank. So he cannot because in a UP is more worst. UP and Bihar is more worst in terms of caste community basis in which the people tend to vote. So what VP Singh thought was Brahmins and all, they are voting for BJP, and Muslims and all, they are voting Muslims, and this one
Minorities.
Brahmins, a little bit of Brahmins and minorities, they are with Congress, and VP Singh is a Janata Dal, so there is no way he can get only with the Thakur caste, right? Of him, he cannot come to the power. So he want to consolidate his vote bank. That's the reason he bought the Mandal Commission from the attic, like it was done in 1980s and 84, and then he bought back to the parliament and he put it. But anyway, that didn't work in his favor. Finally, he was boosted as a prime minister and he came out and all. But however, afterwards, PV Narasimha Rao, he became PM. And PV already has a history of doing good things in the society. Already, just now, Prakash was saying like PV was instrumental in bringing land reforms. And there are certain things, PV actually, because he's from a freedom fighter family, right? So obviously, he has seen the ground reality of how the people suffer. And even though he's from forward caste, but he has really put thought about doing things for everybody in the society. Probably that could be the reason when he came back to the power in 1992, he could have passed it. Okay. So here the hypothetical question is, if VP Singh did not bring down this from the attic, this Mandal Commission, whether P.V. Narasimha Rao would have passed it or not is a hypothetical question. We don't know. Okay. Whereas if I look it that way, then for the Mandal Commission passing to the parliament and all, I give due credit to PV. But however, we should not forget VP Singh. I give like almost 70% it is VP and 30% as PV. Otherwise, these could not have things. And I would like to add one more point. Reservations is not a bad thing. Let us be put honest with you. Because Tamil Nadu has the highest reservation in the society, like 70%. Okay. Whereas I think they say because of the Dravid Nash, what is the Dravid, what is that called? Demographies of in the Dravida land, where the backward and SC STs, they are almost 90% and only 10% used to be upper caste. So that is where they have put it down like 69% and 31%. Okay, that's how they came up. And whereas our constitution says you cannot cross 50%, you can give maximum 50%. But in a long run, right? If you look at it, Tamil Nadu, even though it has the highest number of reservation, but still it is number second state, or in a way, in a per capita basis, Tamil Nadu is 5 times more than UP and 7 times more than Bihar in the current state. Okay, so reservations in a long run will do good only. It will bring all the things. There are some issues the way it was implemented for sure, but in the that is what my opinion was. Now, initially I used to feel reservations are kind of against merit, but now I can see there is a lot of good use for giving the reservation as well. That's how I look at it.
So coming back to the mode where the reservations were implemented, and why do you think that VP Singh failed, and why do you think? Yeah, let's start with two things. Right, VP Singh failed. PV Narasimha Rao passed in implementing. So, what were the things that you think enabled PV to pass, whereas VP to fail?
I think the see, in order to pass a bill in Parliament, it require because it has to pass from both the lower and upper, right? Then only it will become an act, right?
Right.
So in the lower body, I think when PV Narasimha, sorry, when VP Singh bought, right, at that time, nobody was prepared to see this kind of
Exactly.
act. All of a sudden, they expect what is that called, 27% reservation to OBCs from
I
nowhere,
agree,
right?
agree.
Yeah.
So because I want to interject here. So 88, there was this elections happening. 89 elections happened. So Indian elections happened around March, April, May, June, that time frame. So 3 months before that, there was like 1 year of a whole campaigning and all those things that have happened. So 84, Rajiv Gandhi won. 89 is where VP Singh and others won. So, but the campaigning, as you know, started from 88 only, 88 or 87 only. Nobody talked about reservations, including VP Singh. Nobody talked about it. So at that the same time, there was BJP, and Narendra Modi was instrumental in Rath Yatra and all those. So a lot of Hindu words started migrating towards BJP. So around 89, once the elections have happened, from 2 seats, they went to 85 seats.
Correct.
So that was a big jolt for everybody. Everybody started realizing, oh man, there is a Hindu vote. Until that time, there was no Hindu vote. So
Correct.
that is a big context where, and suddenly on June he won, and July and August, just 2 months, August 7th, he said, we'll give reservations. So that, I think, carry on.
Yeah. I think the main point is in the Parliament before this Mandal Commission. Even if you look at MPs demography, also if you look at it, right.
Right.
Other than there are reservations for some seats for Dalits like SC/STs, but there is no reservation for backward caste. Okay. Means even now, I don't think there is a reservation for backward caste in MP seats, right? Only SC/STs they have got, right? So majority of the open category seats, right, other than the reservation, they all belongs to the forward caste, right? So I think in the Parliament also, when this kind of a thing brought in all of a sudden, even MPs also, they are clearly sidelined with their respective caste vote banks. So that may be the reason they all said no, like saying, other than because you have to pass, you need to have a majority to pass a act, right? I think, and not only that, VP Singh's bringing this Mandal Commission all of a sudden is a election or vote bank gimmick only. Okay, because there is no history. Had he did a big Radayatra about Mandal before, or he was telling, I'm going to give OBC reservation and all. If he has any history of, if he left any trail on these lines, then I would have believed he was honest about it. But the thing is, he bought all of a sudden, like from the sky, right? He bought all of a sudden this OBC, and it didn't go well with the member of parliaments, right? And people were kind of very, what is it called? They just did not pass it. So that is where VP Singh failed. Whereas PV Narasimha Rao, if you look at his whole history, right? Some people will say he does not make any decisions. He is like, he normally, what is that called? He never takes any decision. He just keep it as is and all. But I'm going through his all biography in the YouTube videos and all, right? The thing is, he has the knack of talking to people and convincing them. And the second thing is, he himself is not corrupt. Please remember, he is never a corrupt guy. Okay, he is a very honest person, and he could speak some 17 languages, and he could actually, whoever speak to him will be convinced with the way he talks and all. And he has got another brilliant point is, he always thinks, if I pass this, then the person who is not yet born, how he can be benefited from it. So he used to look for the future generations, right? So he has got certain traits which nobody has. That is where he was successful in passing Mandal. That too, when Supreme Court also gave a verdict, right? That may have helped in passing in Parliament, but I don't think it is a big deal. But however, PV was, I don't think any other than PV at the time had become Prime Minister would have passed Mandal Commission. I think it is a
right, because if you see, you need around 270 or 280 votes to pass anything, and most of the votes were with the other parties. He was not at all having any votes within his own party. Maybe that also helped in a way. I think he was the first guy who started saying consensus leadership, right? If you remember, he used to talk about spreading the idea to different constituencies, getting their approval, convincing them. So a consensus leadership mode is what changed the dynamics in the parliament, because he had to convince the leaders from Janata Dal. Of course, Janata Dal, all guys were saying we'll vote. Okay, but they were only 40 or 45. I mean, not huge. And at the same time, there was the split in the National Front. So the Janata Dal got split.
And second point, Prakash, the main, I want to bring one more point.
Yes.
This kind of bills, if we oppose, right, then Janata Dal might say, see, they are against OBCs. So that kind of a thought process also may have kicked in other MPs. They thought that, okay, we will also support it, and we will also say, you see, our party only bought him, because 1980 means it's Congress party only, right? So even our party only bought this whole Mandal Commission because of some XYZ reasons. They don't talk about why it was shelved, but however, they will say now we supported it and we passed it, right? So that could be reason Congress supported it actually, but I don't think other than
BJP
PV,
also supported it. BJP also supported it. You know that?
Yeah.
BJP, he was able to convince the BJP, and because 88, the student unions of BJP, Congress were dead against it, right? Those that were affiliated to these political parties, they were totally against it. But he turned all of them around. That is the knack he has, that he can make someone turn around from their own position. That he has time and again he has done the same thing, like whether you talk about socialist ideas converted into a capitalistic viewpoint, or some people who are totally against reservations then turned around and say, hey, maybe it's okay, maybe it's good for the country. So that kind of movement
for BJP, this is the dilemma, man. Okay, even though the BJP has upper caste Hindu philosophy which runs, but BJP has got the highest backward caste leadership inside. Okay, even right now,
Narendra Modi is
including Narendra Modi, not just correct. Even including Narendra Modi, even in AP, Telangana also, BJP leadership has a lot of backward caste people. Okay, so that could be the reason BJP also supported it, because they otherwise his own cadre will be unhappy, right, when they are bringing onto it.
But 2 years ago they didn't. 2 years ago,
I agree. It took 1.5 years, Prakash, to adjust everybody, saying that at that time PV again started making the phone call, right? Hey, why don't you support? So they were kind of okay with it. But there is a lot of what is it called? Things worked in favor of PV. Okay, so Mandal Commission. The question is, VP Singh was no more in power, right? When in 1991, still it was not passed. PV need not have to take that cause, right?
Exactly.
He could have he could
He could
have
have shelved.
said,
Yeah.
yeah, he could have said, no, I don't have. You don't even you need to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
But he is there to talk about it, and finally he took it to the parliament and passed it, right? So we have to give due credit for the PV for that, no doubt.
Right. So the other thing that is important is he let the thing lie low for around 1 year. I think 91 he became PM, but he didn't use Mandal Commission till 92, 93. Right, even after getting approval from Parliament, he slowly implemented the changes until 93. Actually, people saw different things. So, do you think that the lot of people were have this notion that he doesn't take decisions quick, but maybe it helped in implementing Mandal Commission, right? A lot of people started.
Means I'll tell you main thing. Initially, I used to think Congress has this Mandal Commission. What is it called? Congress party has this delaying tactic. Whenever it is burning, it won't make any decision, right? Right from in the 1960s, when there is a big movement called Hindi as a national language came in, right? So that time, I think 1950s, I guess, when Nehru was there, right? He delayed it. He said that you don't understand the mindset of a South Indian, because at that time in South, hardly anybody speaks Hindi, man. You cannot have national language which you don't even know about it, right? So he delayed that. Okay, saying that this is not the right time. You can, okay, let us start educating them on Hindi, and maybe in future we will do it, right?
That was smart move, actually. Yeah.
It's a wise move, man. It's a very wise move, actually, right? So many decisions Congress party took, right? They were actually keeping in mind, means that won't, it will be in abeyance. Okay, so those who are for it and against, both will be looking at it. Okay, decision is not being made, we are okay with Congress types, right? Correct. Yeah. So that is a decision. That is how they did it. Even Manmohan Singh also, last 10 years of his rule, he did not do any decisions very fast or whatever, right? Whereas now you will see that with the Modi government, he made 370 articles scrapped. What happened now? Whole lockdown in Kashmir. We don't know when they can lift and bring it back to normal, right? I don't even know about it, right? And then immediately China came in and occupied certain things, right? And immediately he passed triple talaq bill one he passed, and then he was actually doing all super fast. The problem is now they are pushing that Hindi as national language is one more time again. The BJP thinking that now maybe South India is right to have a Hindi as national language, but South Indians, they don't like it, right? Simply we don't accept it simply.
So no, not only South Indian, even in East also, East or West,
no,
whether you take it, only Gujarat accepts Hindi, but not even in
Maharashtra also not accepting it. Punjab not accepting it. Many does not will not accept, man. See, the thing is, quick decision may look very good, okay, but in India where it is Cosmo. What is that called? Not Cosmo. You can say, see, there is no country like India in the whole world, man. Which has, every state has its own culture, own language, and own style of living and all, right? The only way is
even dresses are different.
Even
dresses are different.
Yeah, correct. So there is no way you can actually push things onto the people. Okay. So if you look at this way, right?
Very good in
Narasimha Rao standard. Now I believe that why he was non-committal on things. He only knows how to make things which really work in the future, like maybe Mandal Commission, maybe economical reforms, maybe that those 5 years, right, are very crucial for the survival of India, and he pulled it like crazy, man. Pulled it like anybody else, like anything. Yes, I don't think anybody would have taken such a kind of decisions what PV has taken it.
So a lot of Indians who came to US or any other UK, US or Australia or wherever, whichever country, they owe their things because of PV Narasimha Rao.
I owe myself for Nehru as well as for PV. With Nehru, I got my NIT Warangal, and and then with PV's reforms, right? Once all the Infi, they opened up their software shops here, right?
Yeah.
Then people understood that you can migrate to US because your relatives are already there. Once your relatives are over there, then it's already like a rail, like a well laid path, right, to go to US. So a lot of people migrated to US, and you have to remember, actually, all the NRIs who moved to US, Europe, and all, right, we are all in a very respectable position, and
Yeah.
people
Top
will not.
1% of, yeah, top 1%
Yeah.
of the economic strata.
So that too, our value add to their countries bought India a glory also. You have to understand that it is not that being NRI we left from India. Okay.
Yeah.
Assume that we are going, we went to US and started doing all scams and scandals, right? And do you think anybody will look at our country in a
Yes.
good way, right?
Yes, yes.
So we are giving a lot of value add also.
Obviously, I mean, if you look at the economic development that immigration has brought, California became fifth economical superpower, fifth economic superpower. Just one state that opened the doors for Indians became so rich. And if you see the trillion-dollar companies, I mean, in our lifetime, I never expected that a company can have that much wealth as a country. Google, Apple, these companies have,
Facebook,
Facebook.
Amazon,
These companies have more per capita, more GDP than many African countries.
Yeah.
Many Asian countries, excepting that of China or India. If you take China, India out, none of the Asian countries can compete with one company. So, I mean, BlackRock has got $5 trillion assets under management. 5 trillion, that is like India, double that of India. So, I mean, all these big companies became big because of the immigration that they allowed. And this happened only because PV Narasimha Rao had that statesman.
No doubt. No doubt.
And
Prakash, to be honest with you, man, you and me staying in America talking like this, all thanks to PV. There is no question about it. Yeah.
Not only just you and me, I mean, so many people,
So many lakhs of people came in here.
From different cultures. Everybody started using that well laid out path. If the IT industry was not opened by PV, if the IT was, for example, the railways, right? I know the computerization of railways. If PV was not there, it wouldn't have happened. If that was not going to happen, then nobody would even think about programming. Now, even if you see video advertisements, you see that advertisements where a 8-year-old kid wants to do programming and get investment. So from the point where we were like not even recognizable in terms of technology, to be on the forefront where lots and lots, I mean, some millions of people have changed their course into the technology and created new technologies, created new companies. If it was not PV, then you wouldn't see Sundar Pichai here or Satya Nadella.
No way.
What qualities of PV do you think are very important for any future leader to learn?
First thing is he is a continuous learner, actually. So he keeps reading books. And even if you look at his life, he's not just a politician. He translated many books from Marathi to Telugu and Telugu to Marathi. And he was invited for the Marathi annual meeting also. And he speaks Marathi like his mother tongue, like Telugu. Okay, he's that much fluent there. And the one thing is learning. Continuous learning is one thing I can say we should learn from the PV. Okay. And second thing is he is very soft spoken. He does not. He means whatever he speaks, it has got a lot of sense. He does not. Simply because you gave a mic does not mean he talks for hours. Okay, so
he does a lot of research. Okay,
he
one
does
is
a
learning.
lot of research.
Second is research. Okay,
yeah.
What do you think is the one?
Yeah,
I mean, in terms of Mandal Commission, why do you think he passed?
Means and second, third point, yeah, you bought in a very good time. Third point is how to convince people. Like what is the knack of negotiation? And it is not just that he also has a give and take, right? In Mandal Commission, it appears as if he robbed jobs from the upper caste people to the OBCs. That it looks means if you look at the OC side, right, upper caste people side of it, right. Whereas if you look at other way, when these reforms happened, those whoever lost the job in the public sector, they all got into the private sector with
yes.
a much bigger fat packet salaries and all,
Yes,
right, and
yes.
with a much better life. So he is actually knows how to pull the cards which actually helps people. So he's very wise in that sense too. Third point. And the fourth point, just now we talked, means I don't know how it works, but in a complex culture like in India, making a decision on time, correct decisions on correct time, than making a hasty decision. He waits for the right opportunity to put the decisions. I think that we should do it in our life also from PV
Yeah.
actually. So these are all the three things. And the third one, fourth one, I think very rare that he is not, means the current day politicians, if you look at it, right, he is a non-corrupt person. Nobody can question his sincerity in the way he has done it. So these are all the good things I can learn from PV.
What came out from my side is like he is a consensus leader. He tries to convince the leadership from the other aisle, take everybody along with you. Like what Barack Obama was saying, you don't have white America, you don't have black America, you have United States of America. So the same thing PV implemented around 80, 90, I mean like 30 years ago. And that was a real big thing. Otherwise, a South Indian going into North and establishing themselves, himself, without much money power, without much of political power or political capital, he was able to bring about reforms that changed everybody's life. I mean, the least affected by his reform is PV Narasimha Rao.
Yeah.
The least
Congress party,
affected is
because of other reasons and all, he disowned him. But that is so unfortunate from Congress. It is paying price even now because of not recognizing a leader who added value to the whole nation, right?
So finally, PV Narasimha Rao and Bharat Ratna, what is your take? What is your message?
Oh, it is a no-brainer that I support PV for Bharat Ratna. There are many reasons. Bharat Ratna will be given for those who made India's name shine outside the world. That is one of the criteria. So even though you may be a great leader in India, but however, how the whole world perceives you in India by one candidate, right? Just like when Abdul Kalam was given Bharat Ratna, the reason being India become the missile man, right? Self-reliant on the missile technology, or the strides India made into astronomy and all. So whole world looked at India like this, saying, "Oh, we thought India is a place where it is the most backward country, and from where people are." PV Narasimha, if you look at that way, he pulled India from the complete debacle to bring it onto its toe, and he laid a path for millions of Indians. It changed completely the life of Indians, how they are looking into it. If there is no PV, I don't think our Sundar Pichaya or Satya Nadella would have become CEOs, as you said, Prakash, CEOs of this of the world. And now the whole world looks at which company is biggest, right? They will say, okay, Apple CEO is not Indian, that's okay, but they will look at Microsoft, they will look at Google. And then not only that, approximately out of Fortune 500s, right, some almost 50% or almost 30 to 50% are actually Indians who are actually in the helm of the affairs.
Yes.
If there is no PV, I don't think I will see success this much. And we Indians always, we are taught how to be inferior when you look yourself to the other world. So PV bought confidence in the Indians' life. Confidence is 50%. Once you have the confidence, you can go and achieve anything, right? So that is where I consider PV is a no-brainer in giving Bharat Ratna. Delaying Bharat Ratna to PV is nothing but you are actually harming the whole country's. If you don't recognize your country's own leaders, right? that is the worst thing you can do for your own country. So
Yeah.
I strongly I strongly feel PV Narasimha should be conferred with Bharat Ratna as soon as possible. I hope our current government also listens and it does it.
Okay, folks, that comes to the closure. I mean, the time passed like anything. We could just talk about these things for like hours together and not get any, fatigue about talking about it. So I support PV for Bharat Ratna. Just on basis of just Mandal Commission itself, I can support him for Bharat Ratna, because India was divided. Any country has a future if their students, youth, have the confidence. If the youth think that there is a prospect, there is a future, then only that country progresses. And PV Narasimha Rao put that confidence into the youth. He made, single-handedly, I would say, he made the youth go out and get the jobs in the world, and that's what created India what it is today. Whether it is Sundar Pichaya, whether it is Satya Nadella, or so many millions of people who are doing maybe small jobs, maybe a computer programmer, a support developer, whatever, right? That is only because of PV. Because I mean, think about the whole job scenario where every 8 billion people are trying to come to that software industry, and only few millions or few thousands are able to come to that level, right? And that is because of PV Narasimha Rao. If he was not there, then none of us would have achieved whatever small thing we could achieve. With that,
Yeah, you are right, Prakash.
we all want PV for Bharat Ratna for PV. Thank you,
Yeah,
Ravindra.
yeah, yeah.
Talking to
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you.
you.